I was thinking and now what was Exhale? Exhale is
it's a contact. It's a contact library and it's a vocal engine. So I was just doing vocal chopping, which I'm more or less going to be doing right now. But instead, this is a library of sounds. Versus me taking an artist and chopping that artist up myself. This is going to be me using a contact library to do that. So yeah,
cool.
All right, so this is obviously the contact interface here, and contact is I'm using the free player right now. I haven't purchased the full one yet. I really need to do that. When I get a little bit of extra dough, I'm going to do so. So what I do in this situation is, generally speaking, I operate without a MIDI keyboard. If I'm doing scoring work, I will have a full MIDI keyboard with me just for that kind of feel with that type of stuff. But if I'm working on pop music, I don't necessarily have that. So Exhale is an amazing engine. So in Logic, Command K brings up the digital keyboard, or rather the keyboard as in musical typing. So right now I am triggering some sounds. Let me turn that up a little bit. I'm triggering some sounds on the keyboard here, and each one of these is a slice of a different loop. Browser, just for the perfect. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to close this window for 1 second, and let's see, what's my beats per minute at right now? Let me slow that down to like 90 or something. All right, so I'm going to hit record. All right, so I stuttered there at the end a little bit. So I'm going to open up my editor here. Command A, I'm going to hit Q for quantize. And let's see, let me cut that region there and bring it back to the downbeat. Using the scissors tool, grab that, move it over, and it should be good to go. All right. All right, cool. That quantize actually ended up making it sound really cool. So now that I have that in play and I have some MIDI down, I can again cycle through the library and see what sounds good with that. So all right, that sounds pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let me try one more. Oh, cool. I really like that. So what I'm going to do is that's the slice mode, so it's just kind of like little audio chops. I'm going to bring up a second instance of Exhale, and I'm going to use the notes mode, which is playing it more like you would a synth or a sampler of some kind. So actually the previous song that I was just playing, I don't remember if I had that region selected, but you could hear an Exhale pad in the background that provided this really cool kind of angelic sounding voice. All right, so let's pull this guy in here, and I'm going to go into notes mode. Okay, Command K, bring up my musical typing. All right, so that's pretty cool. I want to find something long and sustained. So let's see. It's kind of got a filter here, so I can hit pad, and let's say, I don't know, warm. Let's see what comes up. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's see what my key is here. Right, this is actually starting to sound good. So what I'm going to do is, since I don't have a MIDI keyboard with me, I'm just going to record one note. I'm going to do that here. All right, or at least this is the baseline of it. So let's see here. Let me pull my editor up, and I can get rid of this musical typing now that I don't need to see that. So let's see here. I've got first note is A. Ba, ba. Yeah, so A and then E. Ba. Okay, perfect. All right, F sharp, and then let's see what the last note is. C sharp. Sweet. So that actually should do it. Alright, cool. Which actually leads me into one of my other discussions. So now I have this nice rhythmic chop going with a really cool Exhale bassy sounding pad with it. And kind of a dirty secret I have with drums is Logic's drummer. So I was playing some tracks for some of my students the other day, like, yo, the drums sound awesome in that. What is that? I said, Logic's drummer. And they're like, use drummer for that? And for the people not in the know about that, Logic's drummer is kind of like a kickstart engine that you can find in both GarageBand and Logic, which just throws some drum loops at you in certain styles, and you can kind of move around in an XY pad and kind of figure out a few other different parameters, and kind of it spits out this drum loop. Create a new track, pull in drummer. I chose the electronic kit, so actually, no, let me Command Z that. I want to do an R&B kit because I thought the sounds I was working with sound like they lend more to a a break beat than they do to a 4-to-the-floor beat. So let me see. Plus, by the way, I'm using Logic 10.3, which is the new Logic with a flatter interface, more like Ableton, and some other cool features. And it's actually, I found my projects run a bunch faster. So I'm going to use the R&B preset here. See what happens. All right, let me turn up my volume. Do not like. So let's try a hip hop setting. See what happens here. There we go. Turn my drums a bit. Let me try a different kit. Let me try boom bap over here. So yeah, it actually, with drummers, what's cool is it has all these different preset libraries over here. And basically all drummer's doing is referencing Drum Machine Designer, which under that is referencing Ultrabeat. So it's kind of like this macro within a macro within a macro. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Let's try one other thing here. Alright, let's see. Don't like that. Let's try Trapdoor. Let's just get a trap sounding kit. Screw it. I go straight to the sounds. Alright, cool. Perfect. So let me cut that off there, delete that. So now you've got this cool drummer sound, right? Let me lower the a little bit more. Alright, cool. So maybe I want to put some triplet hi-hats in there. How do I do that? I can mess around possibly with this matrix down here and try to figure that out. But I know how to make triplet hi-hats. I like triplet hi-hats. So I want to do that. So you can right-click on this drummer region, go down to Convert, and go to Convert to MIDI region, and oh wow, that cool little macro beat it was playing actually has real MIDI in it, and you can edit it. So let me get into the nitty-gritty here. So after this, boom, I wanted to do a little bit of like 64th or maybe 32nd hats there. So let's see, where am I at right here? So so I'm going to change my smart grid to 30-second triplets. I'm going to enter in a note there, pull it back, hold down Option, and try to get a little hat thing going here. Let's see what happens. Alright, that maybe was a little bit too much. Let's try to take one out there. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Or maybe I want more like a so. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Okay, cool. So now that I like that, I can just double that up. There we go. So, I mean, that was real quick, but that's a really quick way that you can get started with drums if you're kind of overwhelmed by the prospect of having to know how to do everything right off the bat, opening up drummer. And now that, again, that I have that, I can again go back over to the library window over here and change the kit again. But it'll still keep the same MIDI pattern. Alright, so that's a little aggressive, but let me try one other thing here. That's really 80s sounding. Let's try this guy. Okay, I kind of like that. Cool. So yeah, I mean, that's just a quick look at Drummer. It's a very effective drum tool. Drum Rack and Ableton is great as well, but I've really latched onto this and really enjoy it.